Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. Glad you all could join us as well. Well, you guys know how much I love being able to bring you guys some great entertainment spotlights, and we have three great guests joining us for this next segment. I'm going to be welcoming director Jean Blalock to our program. Also, we have actress and singer Nina Bergman, and we also have writer, producer, and actor Pasha Gerard here to talk to us not only about their own individual past, but also a great project that they're working on that you guys can look forward to in the very near future. If you guys are not following Jean, Nina, and Pasha, of course we'll let you know where to be able to find them online as well. But guys, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. We really appreciate you having us.
Pleasure to be all mine. Gene, I'm going to start with you, and I think it's so interesting. When I was prepping for this segment, of course, you guys have the film. We're going to be talking about that. But what about your journey as a creative, Gene? When did you first realize that telling stories through film was something you wanted to do?
Film has always been a passion of mine. Early on, from the first time I saw Star Wars, all the way to today, film is one of the most powerful mediums because it's both visual and audio as well, but it wasn't until much later that I learned I could actually do it for a living. Growing up in rural Virginia, it was stuff like arts and filmmaking and music was all something you did as a hobby. You did on the weekend and between other jobs, and it wasn't until a bit later that someone said, "Oh, you can actually make money doing this. You can do this for a living if you want to." But my whole life has kind of been consumed by art. I've never been really interested in the whole corporate mainstream, go get a job, work 9 to 5 type thing. So I've been pretty fortunate that I've either been able to make my living as either doing music, art, or film. So it's been a good journey so far.
Yeah, Nina, I think that's a great segue to you. I mean, the arts have been a part of your life as well. When did you realize that creating in some form, Nina, was something that you wanted to do?
When I was 4 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be a performer, and I knew my Russian gypsy grandmother was a performer, and I toured with her, and I just knew right then and then, this is what I want to do. This is my little escape. This is my thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And Pasha, what about for you? I mean, I know that you also wear many hats. I mean, writer, including on the project we're going to be talking about here, but also a producer and actor. When did you know that the creative experience was something you wanted to be a part of?
Yeah, as well. It would have to be as an early age as well. I mean, I grew up. I remember around 6 years old, I would have my older cousins would ask me to tell them a story, and I would just come up on the fly and just make them laugh. Would come up with these just crazy stories that I would just make up in my head, and I knew I had some. I don't know. I just had a knack for it, I guess. But growing up and then, going into, auditions and writing and all that, for me, it all came together when I saw Jon Favreau's Swingers, because that was a movie that I saw that made me look at things differently, where I was like, oh, my goodness, he's doing exactly what I'm doing, except he put it all, up on the film. Right. And for me, it was like, from then on, I was like, okay, I can do this. And moving forward, it was great.
Yeah. Pasha, I'm going to stay with you and go back around here, because I think one of the things, we have a big creative community that joins us, especially through Amazon Music Podcast. And one of the things that people say all the time is, I have this passion, I have this thing I want to do, but there's the fear of, one, if they can actually do it, but two, what people are going to think about it. So, Pasha, how did you not allow that fear, whichever one it may have been, how did you not allow that to stop you?
Thank you for asking that, Cyrus. for me, now, Carpe Noctem, the movie that we'll be talking about, that I wrote and produced for the segment, is that, for the longest time it was a baby, it just needed to come out. And I always had this saying in my head, and I forgot where it came from, but the saying goes is that the love that you withhold inside will be the pain that you will carry. And that's absolutely true for me. Like, I just, at all costs, I had to get this movie out into the world. And that was it. I put my 401k, I took my 401k out, I put everything out, I borrowed money from everybody, and I just had to put it out there at all costs. And you have to just, I don't want to say F to the world, you know what I mean, and just put out your passion. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah. And we're going to come back, of course, to Carpe Noctem here in a bit. Nina, I want to ask you a similar question. How did you not allow fear? I mean, as you said, you knew at a young age what you wanted to do, but how did you not allow the fear of what others may think or even the fear of what would happen? How did you not allow that to stop you?
Yeah, it is a great question. I mean, for me, it was never a choice. I always tell people come up and they're like, I want to be an actor. How do you? And I'm like, if you have any other choices or any other talents, don't. Because it's like, it's one of those professions, both for me, acting and music, where I quit every other day, because it's so hard, It's a really impossible profession, but for me, I never had a choice. This is who I am. I can't cook. I can't clean. I can't type. I can't I don't have any other talent. I'm going to do this to the day I die. It's in my DNA, and I'm born to do it. And it was never a question. I never had a choice. It chose me. It was never, I've never even thought about it. It was just who I was, who I am. Yeah. And I never developed, I never had a backup plan. It never even entered my mind. This is who I am. And I'm So for me, it was very simple and very easy and kind of like Pasha. It was a must, and I had to do it, and I would die trying, Like, it was pretty simple. Yeah.
Gene, what about for yourself? I mean, as you said, you knew what you wanted to do as well, and you've been fortunate enough to do it, but how have you not allowed the what if to stop you?
Well, I think one of the things that connected Nina and I when we first met and started working together is exactly what she said, this kind of desire that there is no other option. If there are other options, then you don't have you have a choice to make. Can you do this or can you do that? But for me, like Nina said, if you can picture yourself doing something else and you're not willing to live underneath a bridge or to do what you're passionate about, then it's probably not something you should be doing. I remember as a young being a skateboarder, I had fear as a mind killer kind of scrawled across the bottom of my board. And at that time it was in relation to the trick, should I go down this handrail or not? So your brain is very powerful in tricking you not to doing things if you've got a little bit of fear. And it's just, it becomes this thing that you just have to do. And if it means, somehow early on I figured out I'd rather be poor and homeless and happy than to be wealthy and getting up every day and sitting in a cubicle. So you kind of have to have that mindset of there's no other choice. This is what I have to do. And if it means living on friends' couches, that's what it means. So,
right. I love that, and I think that is it. I think that is what separates. The talkers from the doers, and I think that's why your work individually has really spoken for itself. I want to say for those who are just tuning in on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Already have a great conversation with our three guests for this segment. We're about to talk about the new film Carpe Noctem, but we're talking with director Jane Blalock. Also, we have writer, producer, and actor Pasha Gerard with us, and also actress and recording artist, singer Nina Bergman with us as well. We're talking with them about their own individual passions for the arts and what it's been like for them to bring that to life. So, Pasha, I want to go back to you then and talk about the writing of Carpe Noctem. Where did the idea come from?
Honestly, it came to me in a vision. I seriously, and drugs were not involved that evening. Although we have dabbled with it before. Yes, I'll admit to that. But there was one evening where I found myself. Yeah, right. I found myself just thinking about me running really fast after a girl, and it went from there. And I was like, why am I running after this girl? And then the story just unfolded with this whole thing around it. And then it just, piece by piece, I put it together. And of course, you realize that what's happening is what's actually happening around you, around your world during that time. And how is it that you can try to fix it, and whatever that may be. But for me, it came as a vision, as a story. And that's how it came about.
So, Gene, how did you get involved? How did Pasha convince you to be a part of this?
It wasn't hard to convince me once I read the script. We have mutual friends, and a lot more than actually I think either of us realized when we first got into this. But Pasha was working with one of my producing partners to kind of refine the script, and I guess there was a couple of revisions before I got it. So, yeah, that was it. And I read the script. It was, for whatever happening around the world, within the world of the script, it was a love story to me, and I think that's something everyone understands. Boy meets girl, they fall in love. What's next? And that's kind of, that was the interesting question, especially without giving too much away of the film, with the twists and stuff that happen in it under these circumstances. What happens next? And I think that was something I wanted to explore and discover, and I think it's something that other people can relate to when they see the film.
Got you. Nina, what about yourself? I mean, how did you first hear about Carpe Noctem?
Through Gene, we had some mutual friends, and then the same thing happened. I read the script, and then I was like, oh, that's a must. And we actually tried to work before together, Gene and I, and it didn't work out. So we already kind of knew each other and knew of each other's work, And then when I read the script, and then I met Pasha, and we had a very interesting the way Pasha and I met each other. Like, it was very right, Pasha? It was very deja vu.
Yeah, it was by chance.
Yeah.
It was we were going to have we were supposed to have a meeting, face-to-face meeting, me and Nina, finally. But then we went to go eat at this restaurant. It's a vegan restaurant called Cafe Gratitude in Los Angeles. And we've never met, but then all of a sudden I'm sitting here, and she sits right next to me at a table right beside my table. And I was like, wait, are you Nina Bergman? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm Pasha. We have a meeting tomorrow, and she was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was just really, and I was like, okay, so does that mean something? I think that means something, right? That we meet like this? And
this whole thing has been an interesting, good timing among kindred spirits. I think, I think the three of us were kind of, I guess, without being destined. I don't really like that word because I don't believe in it, but destined to work together. We're kind of a kindred spirit that had to come together at the right time, with this script, and that's it rarely happens, especially in this industry. But I think for this project, it was definitely that. It was three kindred spirits kind of finding the right project to work on together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything, the wardrobe and everything. I had her wardrobe from when I used to, when I first started, I was like a goth, kind of, that genre. So I had all the wardrobe. I had everything. I had the character, in my closet, that was just kind of tucked away deep, deep, deep in my closet. I had all of her outfits, and I was like, oh, finally I get to wear. And a lot of the stuff that I had, my bandmates was like, no way you're wearing that. You know what I mean? No way you're wearing that on stage. So I got to...
Even though the story is a bit off, it's a base. It's something all three of us could relate to and knew kind of the back of our hands. So it was an easy film to make.
Yeah.
Well, there is the elephant in the room for us to talk about. I'm so excited that the three of you guys got to work together. But we are coming at the tail end of a worldwide pandemic. So, Pasha, I have to ask you, how have you been able to maneuver that in the middle of going through? I think one of the tweets I saw when I was prepping for this, you guys are in post right now. Is that right?
No, we're finished. It's all done.
Okay, it's done. Okay. So what was it like navigating what was happening in the world while you were involved with the film.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Well, real quickly, I just want to let you know that we signed a deal that we're excited about, but we'll be making an announcement later when we have all the details.
Okay.
But,
distribution deal. Yeah.
Yes, a distribution deal, yes. But during the pandemic, of course, I mean, when that hit, I mean, I was absolutely like, well, first of all, CARPE NOCTEM being my first full-length feature film, and then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and it's like, wait a minute, is there going to be a Hollywood from now on? You know what I mean? Like everything just got put on hold, really, and
right.
But then during the pandemic, I was like, wait, this can actually be, a blessing in disguise for us, because most of the film companies stopped making, everything was on hold. So then people are now looking for new material. Everything is going by stream platform now. So I think, during that time, you had to really stay on the positive and really think about what can we do from here, which is absolutely, it benefits us that we can go to platform sites and tell them we have a pretty good movie and it looks really good, and I think you guys would be interested. And
right.
Rightfully so, when people are looking for new stories. And I'm Filipino American, so also, looking for, representation, especially what's going on within the last several months with Asian hate and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, you just look on the positive end of everything, and it becomes fruitful.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting news, and I'm excited. I know our audience will be as well to be able to hear about the distribution deal that's coming. I think that kind of brings us to a great full circle moment here then, Pasha, not only, of course, when it comes to CARPE NOCTEM, but also with your career. What do you hope people take away from the film, other than being entertained? What do you hope they're able to take away from it?
Oh, that's a tough one. First of all, I want to thank Gene and the crew and one of my producers, John Harp, and Nina for going along with this project. Again, like earlier, it's a love story. I hope that people find it in their hearts that this world is, there's a lot of darkness in our world right now, but always know that there's a creator, and that everything always works out in the end. I'm a loss for words. Sorry.
He's being tactful
not
to give too much away. He's been very tactful not to give too much away. So good job.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, and I think that in itself says a whole lot. And Gene, what about you? I mean, being a part of this, what is your hope other than being able to provide some escape? Do you have a hope also for the audience, especially the creatives that may be watching it?
Well, I mean, hopefully, that you're entertained by the film, and since it is a love story, I think there's a human connection, whether or not you understand the world that the characters live in. But on a more ethereal type level, I suppose, yes, if you're passionate about something, you have a vision for something, then Pasha, it's certainly not the most recommended way to make a film, but what he did is going out and through hook or by crook, we're making this movie, and we're making something independent that that the studio, that no one has any say in it other than the creative people involved. It is a real testament. I think as you're an artist, you could look toward Pasha as like, wow, here's someone that did it. All odds be damned. So
right.
So hopefully people can take that away and be enjoyed, and and have that emotional connection to the characters in the film.
Yeah. Speaking of the emotional connection, Nina, what about yourself? I mean, being one of the stars of this, what do you want people to take away from the film?
Well, I hope they feel what I felt making it. I entered this world that Pasha created and Gene visually created, and it's a very different world, and I learned so much from living in my character's shoes and having this relationship with Pasha. And then Gene created this very unique world that I've never seen before visually. So it's like, I just hope that people will get immersed in that world and disappear into it and feel what we're feeling and live in these characters' shoes and learn what I learned and feel what I felt, because it's really beautiful. It's just a really beautiful story, and it's just like, you know, it changed my life a little after I finished it, you know, living in her shoes.
Wow.
So I hope that people get to feel that too.
Well, that says a lot. So I know our audience is going to be interested to be able to see how they can see it. So, again, everyone, want to thank our guest, Nina Bergman, you just heard there, Jean Blalock, as well as Pasha Gerard. Pasha, why don't you let our audience know, how can they stay connected with the updates on the film and stay connected with you?
Yes, my Instagram will be at Pasha Gerard. And then we're going to be making an Instagram account for CARPENOCTEMFilm.com. And we also do have a www.carpenoctemfilm.com about the movie.
It's CARPENOCTEM.film, the new film extension stuff.
There you go.
But it's a real temporary site because we haven't released the trailer yet. We haven't released the official poster, so it's kind of just hanging there. But in the next few weeks, as the poster and the trailer becomes available, you can go to CARPENOCTEM.film, and everything will be updated there.
Awesome. Well, Gina, it leads us to you. Do you have a place where audience can stay connected with you, or would you prefer to just drop them all there?
If they have any interest in following me, sure, you can do that. So I'll keep looking around my shoulder. But yeah, it's pretty much Gene Blalock on all social media. You can go to Gene Blalock Instagram and Facebook and all that. And if you want to follow the production company, it's Seraph Films, SERAPHFILMS, on all the platforms as well.
Okay. And Nina, what about for yourself?
It's the same. Nina Bergman. Like, Instagram seems to be where it's at, but you can find me anywhere under Nina Bergman. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
Well, Nina, I have to say, when I was
the best.
What?
Go ahead, Pasha.
No, I said Nina Bergman has the best Instagram site ever.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one that most people are interested in following. Pasha and I just have to live vicariously.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Nina, ironically, Amazon's one of our partners, so I went there and got your new single, Follow Me. So I think it's an appropriate name as we're having this conversation. So you guys can get Follow Me, the special edition, also on Amazon. So make sure you guys check that out. Guys,
thank you.
More than welcome. Guys, thank you so much for this. Great conversation with the three of you. And it goes without saying, once you make your announcement, the three of you, welcome back. We'd love to have you back.
We'd love to have you back. It's been great.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you, Cyrus.
Hey, more than welcome.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.